means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Your Christmas list changes a lot as you get older. Dreams of video games, remote-controlled cars, and baseball gloves turn into dreams of shoes. You know, practical things. Brown's Shoe Fit is the king of shoes in Lincoln, with brands like Sorel, UGG, Brooks, Hoka, and more to make you fashionable and comfortable. Grab a new Ridge wallet or buy 3 get 1 free on Smart Wool socks for the ultimate stocking stuffer. And don't forget a reliable gift card for that hard-to-buy-for person in your life. Brown's Shoe Fit at 66th and Q in Lincoln. When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at koppelcars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
This holiday season, give the gift of good taste with a gift card from Valentino's. During double discount days, double your discount from $5 to $10 free with a $50 gift card purchase. Valentino's handcrafted pizza has been a family favorite for generations, and our gift cards make the perfect holiday gift. And right now, during gift card double discount days, when you buy $50 in gift cards, get a $10 gift card free. Happy holidays from Valentino's.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, for brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome in to Ticket Weeknights. Harrison Arens on the ones and twos as always. We got a new face. Well, not entirely new. He's been on once already this week, but we get Nick Wyman in here, new ticket talent, ticket producer. He'll be joining us going forward here. So that is the name and the voice. Nick, tell everybody a little bit just on your background. Since we're bringing you on here for a full hour, and then we'll dive into Lighthouse a little bit. This is typically the Lighthouse Be a Beacon hour, but we'll talk some Husker football as well. Before we get all that, Nick, tell the people about yourself. Where are you from?
Yeah, so I'm from here, Lincoln, born and raised. Bach had me on for the final segment of Old School yesterday. So second time here on the show. Lincoln, born and raised, went to Pius X High School. I'm a year older than Nick Sainert, so I have that bragging rights on him, I guess.
What was Nick like in high school?
I didn't know him that well. That's the
Really?
funny thing. We didn't know each other that well. We knew of each other. Then we both went to college, and who would have thought? Here we are. That's what I said, the Paul Rudd meme. Like, look at us. Who would have thought? That's what I told Bach, and Bach thought it was hilarious. But yeah, it's hilarious how kind of things go together. And
I was hoping you would have some more dirt on Nick Sainert out there.
No. Nick's a saint.
Yeah,
Nick's a saint, right?
Yeah, supposedly a saint. No, we all love Nick. Great guy, great working for us here at the Ticket. But yeah, real quickly, since this is typically the Be a Beacon hour with the Lincoln Lighthouse, those guys are having a meeting today. So I just quickly want to highlight some things that are going on there. Again, if you've been listening to Be a Beacon over these past couple of weeks here, even last month they mentioned it. This December on the 16th, which is a Tuesday, they are doing their holiday shopping event. And essentially they have a long list of kids where they try to pick the kids that could really use it. And it used to be $100, thanks to inflation. $125 is now what these kids get. And they'll get $125 to just go get presents for themselves. And what's really cool is a lot of times you'll see them getting, presents for their parents for Christmas. And it's a really awesome thing to see. If you guys want to help out and support, again, I mean, it's $125 per kid. And, just think about how much stuff costs a day. That's a pretty fair number. You can just go to their website, lincolnlighthouse.org. And on that main page, you will see an option that says donate today. And it's just a big deal because I'd imagine they'd want to give it to as many kids as possible that are in need of it. But, they make a list and they try to select those that are most needing it or could really use that break. And it's really cool. I mean, Nick, the stories that Bill Mishner and Drew Haverman have giving. We had one kid just get a bunch of knitting material for his mother to give that for a Christmas gift. You have them buying just groceries for the family for that week. We'll get some gallons of milk, potatoes. It's crazy. They're not. If I had the $125 when I was growing up, I'm probably going to buy some sports cards, a bunch of candy for myself. And some kids do that. And it's absolutely great. I mean, it's theirs to spend, but it's really heartwarming, the stuff you see. And I know you've been looking, kind of researching Lighthouse, but just, to you, how important is that for Lincoln Lighthouse to provide that kind of community aspect and really try to help out the youth?
I mean, this is middle school, high school kids. And, for them to not just think of themselves, but for others is really unique. You don't, like you said, you have $125 when you're in their shoes, what are we going to do with it? And those, them being able to give back to their families and for those in need, it's a really special thing. And I think it's something that's needed in the community. And I think there's a good representation in Lincoln as a whole. I think that's really cool.
Yep. And that's why, you got Jay Foreman, who was just on, why he's on the board of directors for those guys. Then that's why Bill Mishner, we have a show here and it's incredible. And if you're one of those doubters or you don't really see the fruit for it, again, it's 4:30 on the Tuesday of September 16th. Just go there and watch. And the moment you go watch it, you'll see those kids and the smiles, and you'll kind of just immediately realize this is totally worth it, because you hear it all the time. Holidays are the best of times for people who are doing well and can be the absolute worst of times for people who are struggling. And especially if it's someone struggling financially, because if you're a parent, you want to get presents for your kids. You're already, probably hurting money wise. You don't really want to take out loans to, buy gifts. It becomes a very tough time. And this just is a huge help, and not just to the kids, but to the parents of those kids as well, to see their kids, be able to do something fun and not have to worry about the financial repercussions of it. So again, I always want to shout out Lighthouse for everything they do. After school program, check them out. You can go to their website, lincolnlighthouse.org. Best way to find out about them. And they've been a long time staple. One of the better community programs we have here in Lincoln. So always want to give them their flowers. Again, that is every Wednesday from 6 to 7. Outside of this Wednesday, be a beacon with Lighthouse, Drew Haverman, Bill Mishner. Today, I just wanted to highlight that. And if you can donate, it's a fantastic organization. All right. With that being said, I do want to get to some football here. And we do got some people on the text line excited. Someone's threatening their grandma in a cage saying she does not get out until Nick has his own show. You must have a collective fan base out there.
I guess so. I have followers, I guess, who are really.
Do you text people? Are you going to be on?
I told a couple people, but I didn't think they'd join the text line and everything. I don't know. I guess there's this revolt to have me here. I mean, that's exciting. That's exciting, right?
Yeah, absolutely. 402-464-5685. You guys can tell us what you want, and we will read them if it's safe to read on air. All right, let's talk Husker football, though. I haven't gotten your thoughts on any of it, so we'll just start with John Butler. Obviously, Matt Rule moves on from John Butler. I think it's a fair timing of it. You do it early enough so that he has an opportunity to go look for, possibly his next location, as he's got a family as well. Your thoughts on moving on from John Butler as defensive coordinator?
Yeah, first day I came here, I was walking out of the parking lot, and that was the news. That was the news that came out. Adam Kerka had his show come up, and he had to pivot pretty much.
Yeah,
pivot real quick. It stinks. Somebody losing their job, it stinks, and it's unfortunate. It has to happen in sports. It happens a lot in sports too. It's going to be interesting here in the next days, weeks. What happens? Who are the candidates? There's been names thrown out, a bajillion names. You can think of NFL guys. You can think of non-Power 4 guys. You can think of guys who lost a job coaching, trying to get back in the coaching ranks. There's so many
poaching defensive coordinators from already, Power 4 schools.
Exactly.
A lot of those.
And that's,
everyone's got a number.
It's all about money too. Because if you're paying defensive coordinator, you're getting paid, $500,000 or whatever a non-Power 4 guy makes, you get, we're going to give you $1 million to come to the University of Nebraska. They're going to take it. Money talks. And it's just an interesting situation because I don't know where Nebraska goes here. They can go down. There's several pathways they can go here.
That's the issue I have. It's like I don't know what their identity is still.
Yeah.
So, without knowing truly what your identity is, and we've been hearing a lot like the 3-3-5, we should change that. Whatever defensive coordinator we hire, you go look at the personnel and what you decide you think is going to work best. Like, I don't want you coming in here and running something that you're not used to running.
Yeah.
Whoever we hire, you don't hire someone unless you trust them to do the job that you're asking them to do. Obviously, you want to monitor it, but I don't think we're really married to anything at this point. So I think it's a pretty big circle in terms of how many candidates are out there and what they may be thinking. Let's listen to Matt Rule, though, on who he wants as the next defensive, or not who he wants, but what he wants in a new defensive coordinator. Here's Matt Rule.
I think for me, I want someone who it's not scheme, it's our play style and how hard we play. The reality is the last 2 weeks, we haven't played hard enough. We were not the more physical team, and we had done that a lot of times. And so I want player development. I want physicality. I want effort way more than scheme. And so someone who can bring all that out in us. And, I'm up there, Phil's meeting with every kid right now. And I think he's relaying that message for this next month. And that will be what we look for moving forward. There's a play style that we want, and I think it was on display early in our tenure here. It has not been on display quite as much. And even though the numbers were good, in this league, in this stadium, you better stop the run the football. And it's easy just to throw it on the players. I don't throw things on the players. There's only one rule working for me, and that's don't tell me the players aren't good enough. Don't ever say that to me. So you can evaluate and say, hey, this guy's got to get stronger. This guy's got to get bigger. Hey, we have a hole here. Let's go get this guy. I have no problem with that. But I want a coordinator who gets 11 guys to play as one. And so we'll kind of look at everything.
So you have it. And the thing that sticks out to me, I'll replay it one more time, is just this part right here.
it's easy just to throw it on the players. I don't throw things on the players. There's only one rule working for me, and that's don't tell me the players aren't good enough.
Okay, so that part, like, don't tell me the players aren't good enough. Bach did a little bit of research, a little bit of detective work, and again, I don't know if that's at all what Matt Rule is referring to, but again, before the Iowa game, you have John Butler, at a press conference, kind of talking about how Nebraska needs to up that talent on that line to get some guys that can handle it when they're getting asked about stopping the run. And then you get, at the end of the season, we no longer have John Butler, and you get Matt Rule saying, don't ever tell me that, we don't have the players. Coach what you have to your ability. I don't know if that was any directed at it, but just kind of interesting to hear some of that insight from Matt Rule. What are your thoughts with that? Kind of a little bit ranty, but he does give you some ideas of what he's looking for.
Yeah, there's a whole lot in there in that minute long clip, I assume. But the thing that stood out to me was how he talked about the different schemes, because you've heard it all week, everywhere. Is it we're going to run a 3-4, or they're going to run a 4-3? I think if you switch that up, because some of these guys have been through several defensive coordinators, if you're switching that up every season, you're stalling development, I think. Yeah. If you're just guys are coming in running, it's like you see in the NFL with quarterbacks, rookie quarterbacks, they end up, going, they come in not a good rookie year usually for the most part. And then they have to, new OC comes in, new head coach comes in, new playbook. It just, you're learning things. So, you're not getting the reps you need, and you're not learning. You're just stalling your development, because you're learning so much different things. I think that's what kind of stood out to me, just talking about development things. That's what you obviously want to do as a head coach. You want to develop your talent. But if you're trying to, scheme fit, because that's been the hot topic, I think. It's like, people want to run this, people want to run that. But I think you just got to figure out what you have. And like, that's kind of what Matt Rule kind of said.
Yeah. I mean, the problem I have with it is, I think you're right. Like with the schemes and everything, we have rotated the door so much. I mean, it's been a revolving door for a lot of these spots, whether it's been the head coach, whether it's been a coordinator, and now the defensive coordinator. Obviously, Tony White was a different situation. We would have kept him, but he moves on, and then you elevate John Butler, but you also bring in Phil Snow, I think, to kind of oversee it, senior analyst, whatever you want to call him, on that staff. That kind of just got to give him whatever name it feels like nowadays. But I wasn't sure what that dynamic looked like. And that's where you just got to figure out some way to find consistency. You go look at Iowa, whether you think about their offense as a joke or whatnot, but you go look at that defense and that special teams. It's been consistent coordinators, consistent coaching. They know what they are. There's no guessing. There is a set identity. With Nebraska, again, with this defense, you feel like you're kind of resetting. And even with on the offensive side of the ball, since we're just on topic, you look at a guy like Donovan Raiola, who's gotten a lot of heat, I'd say, over the years because of the offensive line. But you go look at the offensive line that he had when he got here. How many different offensive line coaches did they have? And then Donovan Raiola gets there. Okay, Donovan Raiola's been a long time stay at the offensive head coach. Or not that offensive head coach, but that offensive line coach. He's had Scott Frost, and then he's had Mark Whipple calling the plays. Then he had who's the Oregon offensive coordinator. We brought him down for a little bit.
Caught me off guard. Brian.
Skinny guy, 42464-5685. Another guy out of Oregon, but then obviously you go to Mark Whipple, Mickey Joseph, and now you bring in Satterfield. Okay, that's not working. Now you got Holgerson. How many schemes has he alone had to work with? I mean, this is where I think we run into a lot of our problems is, if you want to say it's Don Raiola, okay, let's go look at the broad picture. How many different offenses has he had to coach his guys into? It's been a ton just in his short time here. And then you go to the defense where felt like we kind of got to figure it out with Tony White. And then you're 1 year out and you bring in John Butler. Maybe that's what he wanted to run, was the 3-3-5. Maybe that's just what the guys were comfortable running. To me, that's with all the biggest problems. And I know Jason Peter kind of talks about it a little bit. We just have way too much of a revolving door. And unfortunately, part of that is kind of college football now. I don't know. Where do we go from here? Like, if you get a new defensive coordinator, let's just say he's great. Do you think of making any other moves in this coaching staff, even if it's just like position coaches?
I don't think you want to do too much, because if you make all these moves, depending on if, the new DC wants to bring in his own coaching staff.
Yeah, that's the whole conversation.
Those guys, and Rule's like, sure, you run the defense or whatnot. And then let's say it's not great. Then what do you do? Do you just do it again and wipe the slate clean? And hey, let's bring in another guy and see if he can, see if we can put the puzzle pieces together and it'll stick. See if something will stick. I don't know. It's weird. It's a very weird situation because you don't you don't think of Nebraska as this launching pad or something like that for like DCs or OCs or whatever, but you'd like some stability.
Yeah.
If you're just a revolving door of coordinators, it just creates chaos.
That's what we've done.
Yes.
It's just been chaos. Because obviously when you got new head coaches, the coordinators are going to change a lot. And then when you have returning head coaches and their coordinators are changing, and not because they're always leaving, but they're getting fired because you kind of had to make a move. Like, I don't think Matt Rule could have went into this offseason not making some changes.
Agreed.
I don't know if John Butler got the best chance at making his case, but I can understand why, you know, if the Rule, it's going to be a hard argument to bring him back, despite having a really good pass defense, the amount of yards they were giving up on the ground on a weekly basis, and then those last two games. If we just split those last two games, do we still have John Butler as defensive coordinator?
I mean, you win a game at Penn State or you win a game against Iowa, which hasn't been done a lot. Last time, I mean, 10 of the last 11, Iowa's pretty much won by either a lot of points or by a field goal, it feels like.
It's been a field goal about every time except for this year or maybe one other year.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's mostly been Iowa just kind of either squeaking by or winning by that. So
different a little bit Iowa offense this year. I'll tip my cap a little bit.
I mean,
the
yeah,
offense was much better
when you have a
anything
quarterback who can be mobile and make work, and it was probably one of the better Iowa offenses in recent memory. Nate Stanley was probably the last one when Noah Fant and them were there. That was probably the best.
That's a good one. But even then, I might go with this offense just by that
team was ranked.
Yeah,
they were ranked. They were in the Big Ten championship.
This team almost beat Oregon.
That is true.
I think this team was really close to having one of those unreal years, and they came up short. But that is a good point. It's a little bit closer, but I'll give you the edge on that one.
I just think because they were nationally ranked and Big Ten championship that year, and it was just how that was Mike Riley's last year, I believe, too. And Noah Fant went for 100-something yards on him and a couple touchdowns. So
yeah,
bad memories, folks. Sorry for.
It's been bad memories out of 10 out of the 11, to be fair. So I think we're all just kind of getting used to him. Matt Lubick, thank you. That was the Oregon.
There we go.
You know,
there's the
another
name.
guy that Donovan Raiola at one point in time had to work with. So again, I think the problem is the revolving door. We gotta figure out a way to get some stability. I don't think you can bring in, some fresh names. I talked about, even just the position coaches when we brought in Matt McGuire. I get it, former player. You feel like you know him. He maybe can be a great coach. I'm not saying he's not, but Nebraska to me should never be like, here's your startup school. You got to act like a blue blood if you want to be a blue blood. And I'm just not always sure if everyone's locked in on the same page. So we'll wait and see. We still got more decisions to wait. Who we're going to bring in for defensive coordinator still to be decided. I know Matt Rule's kind of hinted on the idea of wanting to get done sooner than later, but obviously you don't want to rush it either. With that being said, we'll go ahead and throw it to break here. Don't go anywhere. Take Weeknights. Nick and Harrison. We will join you guys in a little bit.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Your Christmas list changes a lot as you get older. Dreams of video games, remote control cars, and baseball gloves turn into dreams of shoes. Practical things. Brown's Shoe Fit is the king of shoes in Lincoln, with brands like Sorel, UGG, Brooks, Hoka, and more to make you fashionable and comfortable. Grab a new Ridge wallet or buy 3 get 1 free on Smart Wool socks for the ultimate stocking stuffer. And don't forget a reliable gift card for that hard-to-buy-for person in your life. Brown's Shoe Fit at 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Attention parents of 8 to 12-year-olds. The Lincoln Children's Museum is opening a new exhibit designed specifically with them in mind. Mark your calendars for the grand opening on Saturday, December 13th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. On site, meet Love Nebraska volleyball players, including Lincoln's own Jordan Larson. Plus, the first 100 kids will receive a mini volleyball. Please note, fans must have a child with them to enter the museum. While you're there, be sure to check out the new Rock Wall, Book Nook, and Maker Studio. This event is free for members or included with regular daily admission. Learn more at lincolnchildrensmuseum.org.
This holiday season, give the gift of good taste with a gift card from Valentino's. During double discount days, double your discount from $5 to $10 free with a $50 gift card purchase. Valentino's handcrafted pizza has been a family favorite for generations, and our gift cards make the perfect holiday gift. And right now, during gift card double discount days, when you buy $50 in gift cards, get a $10 gift card free. Happy holidays from Valentino's.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, and family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apples, chili, vegetable, chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Back to the Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. Second segment, talking some Husker football here. And while we're at it, before we get back into the Matt Rule quotes, quickly, I want to update everyone. We did have some Big Ten all-conference teams come out. Not the offense yet, though. Trying to figure out why that one is still delayed. But we do got the defense, and we do got the special teams. Quickly, how many defense players do you think made it?
On for all the teams?
Just for Nebraska. Nebraska players that made second or third conference teams.
I'll say 2.
Zero. Yeah, kind of not great there.
I just picked a random number off the top of my head. Maybe they gave a third team sneak in there because like you get the first.
You
team.
had some honorable mentions.
Exactly. You get your first team's usually your studs, and then second team is always like there's one guy in the second team. You're like, oh, maybe he should have been a first teamer, and then third team they usually just kind of throw in your, like Purdue might they weren't great. Maybe they got a guy just to make them feel better about themselves. So.
Yeah, we had Andrew Marshall, Sierra Wright, Deshaun Nicola, Deshaun Singleton, Javen Wright, all be honorable mentions for the defense. Special teams, third team, return specialist, Kenneth Williams did make it on Nebraska. And I want to say for special teams as well, Kenneth Williams, second team, and then Ja'Cory Barney also made third team.
Hey,
so you got 2 Huskers on special teams making second and third team.
That's nice to have people on special teams because special teams was always something catastrophic would always happen. It felt like in special teams.
Any guess who made first team?
No clue.
We played him and we saw him pretty active in that Iowa game.
Kicker or who?
No, this return specialist.
Iowa. Obviously.
Yeah, that guy.
They always have a good because Cooper DeJean a couple years ago, he had the fair catch, the alleged fair catch against Minnesota. If you remember that a couple years ago.
Yeah, and that one I feel Iowa got lucky. Iowa usually finds a way to get lucky, but no, Caden Weegan. I don't think it's any surprise. That guy was a absolute menace. I will not disagree with it. He was averaging like 20+ yards per punt return.
I mean,
return.
If you're getting that, there's a reason they were scoring a lot of points.
If you're flirting with 10. Because DeMornay Pierce now, who's dubbed as like one of the better ones to do it.
Yes,
he wasn't even near those numbers.
I mean,
he was I think around I want to say like 12.
What do you think the national average of fair catches is? Because I feel like a lot of the time it's just like kick, fair catch, move on to the next play. I feel like that a lot. Like
Outside
not
this
just
year,
not just in college, just the NFL. I feel like it's always. I feel like there's less because 10. 15 years ago, we had like guys like Devin Hester and guys like Percy Harvin had one in the Super Bowl when he was with the Seahawks. I just feel like it's like kind of a rare thing to be you're the special temes returner guy. You're the punt returner.
It's a weird athlete to find. Because I always try to, break down DeMornay Pierce-Snell's mind on it is, where is that moment where you got a guy screaming downhill? Because DeMornay was the best at a guy's right in your face and timing it so you can just quick sidestep as soon as you catch the ball and trying to figure out that balance of making sure you don't get just destroyed on it, but also having the confidence in the wherewithal of looking up at the ball and keeping your eye downfield and seeing where the pressure is coming from. It kind of just feels like you got it or you don't, because we've had great athletes back there and they can't do it.
Or they catch the ball or they drop it.
Yeah, and they muff it. Even though there might be a best wide receiver we have. And so it's a bizarre elite ability that I don't know where you get. And Iowa seems to do a really good job of finding those.
Whoever that special teams coordinator is, man, they're just developing that talent, I guess.
Well, and also if you're like a special teams freak or that's up your alley and Iowa's recruiting you feel pretty good about your odds to take something to the house there. So no, obviously Caden Weegan, he wins at first team on return specialist. All right, that's all we got. When we get the offense, hopefully we get those today. I'll give those to you as well. But you only had 2 Huskers make it, both on special teams. No one on defense. He did have a few honorable mentions, though. Let's get back to the Matt Rule press conference. Some interesting headlines kind of wearing into it. I mean, you do got the Dylan Raiola, TJ Lateef trying to sort out what that's going to look like. And let's just quickly get to TJ Lateef's status, because obviously he did have the hamstring injury. This bowl game, you think he'll be fine by the time that comes around. Here's Matt Rule on TJ Lateef's health.
No, he's gonna have to recover from the hamstring. We'll be safe with him. I think the timeline should be that he'd be able to play in the game. We expect him to play in the game, but he won't be out there on Monday.
Okay, so he won't be practicing, but by the time they get to the game, should be able to go. No surprise there. And now let's get to expectations for Dylan Raiola in the next few months as well.
Yeah, I think Dylan's at a place right now where you're going through a hard time when you're injured. And what I've encouraged him to do is to embrace it and attack it. Like let it hurt that you're not out there playing, and consistently write down every single day, like, what are you learning and what do I need to do? Dylan made tremendous progress from year 1 to year 2, but there's progress that needs to be made moving forward. And so I want to see him own that. I don't want it can't be Corey, it can't be Kristen, it can't be me, it can't be Glenn. I want to see him take it and run with it, even in this time. And so, Dylan's a tremendous worker. He loves to work at those things. I want to see him, but I want to see him make a jump. This is year 3 coming up for him, and he's got to become the quarterback that we all know that he can be. And that's honestly, in my opinion, will help him, but that falls on his shoulders, and I'm anxious to see him do it.
So you have it. Talking about year 3, Dylan Raiola. Hopefully, if the year 3 comes around, it'll be in that Nebraska uniform. I haven't seen anything official other than some like Twitter burners saying stories. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. I haven't seen anything confirming that he's actually leaving or not. But Nebraska is in an interesting situation. You got TJ Lateef. If TJ Lateef just goes crazy, and let's just say it's versus Utah, because I think that'll be a challenging game. He goes crazy. And would that be the Las Vegas Bowl, right?
If it's Utah, it's got to be
Vegas Bowl.
If it's not that, it's the Music City Bowl versus,
and that might be LSU,
Mizzou.
Yeah.
Throw an SEC team in there.
Well, let's do the Music City Bowl. Let's go Missouri, because I think Missouri's a good team. I think that's a really good win, and it's a good defense. Say TJ Lateef plays phenomenal. He looks great. Where are you at with like having do you have a QB competition battle, or is that just like not enough to have 2 wins, 2 losses, and 2 good games and 2 not so great games? Because we're at this point with Dylan Raiola. I'm not, but you do have a fan base that just kind of want to have that QB battle to start the year if he does say play really well.
Yeah, I mean, competition's always a good thing. However, it's like you've put in so many resources for Dylan Raiola. They put in so much time on this guy. So they got him flipped from Georgia. They flipped him here to Nebraska. Freshman starting quarterback. There's all the hype. There was all the hype coming into this year and everything. And then it stinks to see any athlete get hurt, no matter the sport. And I mean, for him to sit out, that's, it sucks. And for an athletes want to be out there. And for him to still be around the team, cool thing to say. And cheering on TJ Lateef. TJ, obviously, UCLA game, first start there. Cali guy wins that game. Some ugly games in there. I mean, he got banged up in the Iowa game. It's a weird situation because it's
that is fair to say. In Iowa, he was hurt, so that certainly took away some of his ability as well.
He's a running quarterback because in Penn State he had the one to rush. He had the one touchdown.
Yep,
he had the touchdown, and everything else not great. But it's weird because it's how much stock do you take into a bowl game? Because the Music City Bowl, let's say they play LSU, and LSU's having guys doing basically a tryout game because of Lane Kiffin situation and stuff like that.
Or some guys already know they're leaving.
Exactly. And then everybody and LSU's playing like third stringers and fourth stringers, and Lane Kiffin's just getting his roster together. And this is just a game that the school has to play. So, and then TJ has a good game against them, against third and fourth stringers. But then there's such a wild card with bowl season now. Bowl season, I remember it used to be just like you play that game, you're a senior. Last time you get to represent that school, now there's a
chance to get some swag because you weren't getting millions of dollars to go buy swag.
Exactly, and there now and it's a chance. Some quarterbacks use it to evaluate. The last game, scouts come to watch you. I remember Daniel Jones. He played when he was at Duke. He played in a bowl game and he played good. And then he went to the Senior Bowl and he played good too. And
yeah, he really made a career out of that bowl game.
Hey, he's at the Colts right now. Sorry, Giants fans, but he's at the Colts right now, doing pretty well. But yeah, he became a first-round pick.
Yeah.
So bowl season has changed. It's changed so much. Like every year, I feel like there's always something.
It's like a case-to-case now, which sucks. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna get some bowl games where the guys care and they're playing. Like last year for Nebraska, big deal. On Ty, Nash, they're playing in it. It's a huge deal for us. No one's resting. Florida State that one year where they go undefeated and they don't make the 4-team college football playoffs. They get a bowl game versus Georgia and they're just so pissed. They're like, screw it, I don't care. And they didn't have a lot of guys suit up for that one, and they got
the score reflected that.
Yeah, and they got embarrassed. So it's like case to case on how all that matters. Where I land on the quarterback situation though is like obviously I'm rooting for TJ Lateef to go great, but if you're going to get a guy in Dylan Raiola and people are seeing numbers around like $3.5 million, if you're giving him that much money, you must think that he can be that guy. And if you're going to give him $3.5 million, then it just takes 2 good games for TJ Lateef for you to open competition, guys. Like come on, what are we doing here? And it doesn't mean this is Dylan's. He can't ever lose it. It doesn't mean that you can't even bench Dylan for, a series or whatever, and then put in TJ Lateef and let him work some things out, then put Dylan back in the game. Dylan can lose his spot, but I think it's his to lose. When you're committing that much money to a guy, that much resources, you design an offense kind of around him, going back to the revolving door. What does that say, to your confidence in quarterbacks if you're just going to yank him like that after 2 good games?
What does that say to your players?
Exactly. So, again, it doesn't mean he has to start because we're paying him the money. It always gets to a point where if it's bad enough, you will get pulled and they'll give somebody else a shot. But, I just don't think that's nothing we really need to worry about, as we don't know which guys are all coming back either.
And we'll find that out before.
Maybe we have both. Maybe we don't have either.
Maybe we have one or the other. You don't know. There's such a wild card to it. And I think Raiola, obviously the Minnesota game wasn't a good game, but the USC game, Nebraska was right in there.
I think we would have won it if he was there.
Exactly. He was there, and then he gets hurt, and it's not like it's not like he's had these bad numbers. Like, if he's, like you said, there's a difference between being injured and then somebody takes a spot and plays well. Let's say Lateef does play well in the bowl game, but it's, you get injured. It's just you're handicapped then, and then you just kind of are out of this battle. I don't know where the storyline of a QB battle came from, but it's just a unique situation. And
I think people are just upset by the sacks and then his lack of mobility.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's this group of people that say if you are that immobile, like in the college game, it's devastating. In the NFL, it doesn't hurt you as much if you can sit in that pocket. It's, a little bit of when you're not great in pass pro and you don't have a very mobile quarterback, it's just killing you. So I think that's where you have that group of people that it's not like Dylan's a bad quarterback. They just worry about his fit here. And I don't know how much of it's, that he can't fit this system. I think it's just we got to get better at protecting the quarterback, and he's got to get quicker at reading the defense. It's not we replaced the quarterback, this offense is going to be good. No,
Yes.
We just saw us get blown out by 2 good teams when we swapped out the quarterback. So there's a lot of problems in it. We got to go ahead and throw it to break here. And if you guys want to join in, 402-464-5685. We can get to some of your questions or comments right here, 93.7 The Ticket. You got Nick Wyman, Harrison Arens. Talk to you in a bit.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
We have a cold and blustery day on tap here for our Wednesday. We'll see a high of 33 early on the day, steady to falling temperatures here through the rest of today. Slight chance for a few flurries and, a little on the blustery side too. In fact, we're going to drop all the way down to 2 below zero for a low tonight and only 24 for a high tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Aaron down for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Attention parents of 8 to 12-year-olds. The Lincoln Children's Museum is opening a new exhibit designed specifically with them in mind. Mark your calendars for the grand opening on Saturday, December 13th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. On site, meet Love Nebraska volleyball players, including Lincoln's own Jordan Larson. Plus, the first 100 kids will receive a mini volleyball. Please note, fans must have a child with them to enter the museum. While you're there, be sure to check out the new Rock Wall, Book Nook, and Maker Studio. This event is free for members or included with regular daily admission. Learn more at lincolnchildrensmuseum.org.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air
and electrical.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at coppellcars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with roof credit.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through December 7th, enjoy whole boneless ribeye for $15.88 per pound. USDA choice boneless chuck roast $6.99 per pound. All natural thick cut bone-in pork chops $2.49 per pound. And holiday boxes are now available. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
Back to the Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment. Got Nick Wyman, Harrison Arens, just us two for this hour before we wrap it up. But we do have the bowlers up next. They will go from 7 to 8. That is spare time, as always, here on a Wednesday. All right, with that being said, let's talk a little bit of Husker hoops here. I got to ask, what is your college basketball team affiliation?
It's Nebraska, man.
Okay.
I'm a graduate of the university. I told Bach the other day, I grew up, I remember, funny story in high school, when Nebraska with Taram Petaway, Siobhan Shields, et cetera,
great team,
made the March Madness for the first time. They played Baylor. I got out of school. My mom signed me out of school to watch that game. So I was babysitting, quote unquote.
That wasn't the Baylor that won. No, that was way
that was when Baylor beat, when Tim Miles got ejected in that game because he had 2 technicals.
Yeah, that's right.
So, got out of school for it. So
shout out to Ron Petaway. That was like one of my Husker favorites.
Walter Pitchford there, Ray Gallegos, Benny Parker. Benny Parker was
that was like the Tim Miles golden era where we really thought, this is the guy. And
they made it to the tournament for the first time in forever. And then, it's just how it goes.
Well, now we're in the Hoiberg era, and you can make an argument. It's going really well, especially this season as they're 8-0. And then also, we'll quickly, before we get to it, women's basketball, they're about to tip off here in 7 minutes. They face off with Bradley. What was the record? Did you look it up before?
They just came off 2 wins though. They just won the Emerald. What's it called? The Emerald.
The Coast Classic.
Yeah, Coast
Husker
Classic.
women's basketball is undefeated. Bradley basketball.
They're 4-3, I believe.
Yeah, 4-3
coming
is where
tonight.
they are sitting at. So, and let's see, who have they all played and getting the size of the competition here? Yeah, they pushed Missouri pretty close. I mean, they weren't definitely blown out. It looks like Nebraska should be able to win this one pretty comfortably. Missouri maybe sticks out a little bit about Bradley pushing those guys, but again, they still lost by about 8 points in that one. So that one tipping off in about 6-7 minutes here now. And Husker women's team hoping to stay undefeated in their regular season. And also the men's team is currently undefeated, as well as they're getting ready to face Creighton for their next game. Opposite year for Creighton. The team who's typically good year in, year out, who's kind of representing the state, is sitting here at 5-3. They're missing some guys. Kalkbrenner in particular, as he's been killing it with the Hornets. He's been an awesome player to watch. You're really seeing how much they miss him, and having a Big East Defensive Player of the Year who won it 2 times?
I think 2.
Yeah, a couple of times. I mean, it's just an elite player, and he's even transitioning better to the NBA than I thought.
I mean, it felt like he was in school for 8 years. It felt like
it definitely
it felt like. But no, Creighton's had a weird season because they played Gonzaga on the road and lost 90-63 in a game. Like that is Gonzaga is really good. They always are. Always fine guys. And then they went out to the Players Era tournament out in Vegas, and they lost to Baylor by 7, and then they lost to Iowa State by 18, and then they ended it on a win over Oregon. So very weird season because it's usually like Nebraska's coming in with a couple losses, and Creighton's usually this top 15 ranked team in recent history.
Yeah,
and now Nebraska's not they're undefeated, but the roles feel like they're kind of reversed. And I said this to Bach yesterday. I said this is a game where you kind of throw the records out the window because Nebraska's beat them a couple times in the last couple of years, even though Creighton's come in, top 20, top 15 ranked.
Well, it's been weird. It's been the battle of the away team.
Yeah.
The away team goes to Creighton. We kick Creighton's butt. We embarrass them on their court. They come over here and they handle business on our court. We go, whoever's been the away team has typically had the edge in these past few years with Fred Hoiberg. It's been kind of weird in that one, but this was a year where, at home or on the road, I think you like Nebraska's chances a lot more. It is a rivalry game. But again, I think they're just missing so much. I was looking at some of their players. Again, right now, their leading scorer is currently Josh Dix, who's still down there with just 12 points a game. And then you're getting 10, 10, 10. You're kind of just spreading it out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is not that guy like they've had in years past. Like the best example of that was like the Doug McDermott era when he was just absolutely cooking everybody.
He was the guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was the guy.
And then, of course, they move on there and they just have elite shooters. You had the Baylor Shireman, and obviously Kalkbrenner was there as well. It feels like this is the least talented team they've had in a while. They have great athletes, but there isn't that one guy that you just have to account for every play. And in years past, they've had multiple guys. I like Nebraska's chances a lot. They won't have the spread out yet, but you'd have to imagine we get close to it. Nebraska's going to be not heavily favored, but significally favored.
They're at home. They should be. They should be favored. I think this is a very important game too for Nebraska because they have those 2 Big Ten conference games right after.
Yep.
On December 10th, Wednesday, home against Wisconsin, and then Saturday, December 13th at Illinois. You beat Creighton, you have all the momentum in the world heading into those 2 games. And those are going to be tough games.
Mm-hmm.
Big Ten, we know Big Ten basketball. It is tough.
Best thing about this team, though, what I really, you kind of see the reflection of it in the women's team a little bit. Women's team is a little bit more like Britt Prince is that ball player. She's going to do a lot of the offensive heavy lifting for you, but there is still a very good spread out offense. And you see that especially with the men's team. Yes, it'll be in Rink Mast or, Jamarcus Owens having a big game, but you look at that assist total in all these games outside of Upstate, surprisingly, out of everybody, where that was one of the worst assist to turnover ratios they've had all season. But that's how they're beating teams. I said all the time, the best example I can use is the James Harden Houston Rockets era.
There you go.
You got one man. He's the MVP, clearly the MVP. I mean, he was incredible.
Yeah.
You get to the playoffs. Scouting report says, stop James Harden. That is a lot easier than stopping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. And then they got 2 other guys that come off the bench that can rain it. It makes that scouting report so much harder because you got a bunch of guys that you got to focus on, and they're all good at backdoor cutting, sharing the ball. And then if Rink Mast or Sanford gets hot from 3, you got to really worry about those guys as well. And when you have just one player that you're trying to stop and slow down, it just becomes easier. And I think that's why even last year, as great as Bryce Williams was, when he had just a small stretch of being cold, and we had to rely on everybody else to try to provide that offense. Like, man, we went in some long droughts because we just, you can make an argument they were kind of cold. They haven't, gotten a lot of action lately, or in that game at the very least. And then we just couldn't survive through a lot of those droughts. This is a team that can actually weather those because they have other guys that can step up, and they do a really good job sharing the ball.
I mean, yeah, you have guys like Cale Jacobson, Sam Hoiberg, those guys, spark plugs. Get a couple buckets, get some momentum, and if PBA is it's gonna be packed.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be packed. And I'm just curious what the Creighton to Nebraska ratio, because it's always interesting when those teams play to just see kind of like what the fan base looks like. Because you go up to Omaha, it's like is it like a 50-50? Is Nebraska? I mean, it's a weird situation because I said it yesterday. I was like, I'm not a J-sker, but it's an interesting situation, like who you align with.
Yeah. I mean, how do you feel about J-skers? And then we'll get out of here.
I told Bach, it depends where you live. If you live in Omaha or you live in Council Bluffs area, sure. I'm no one to judge. That's all you.
I think that might be a more fair answer than
if you live out west and some reason you're a Creighton fan, unless you got like a relative or a grandma that lives in Omaha or something like that. Or
what if you're Austin Orman, who grew up in Lincoln, and you're a Duke fan?
That's I don't know.
It's unheard of.
That's a little weird.
I always Austin Orman, great guy. Love working with him. It's always the one thing.
That's weird. I don't know. Hey, it's a popular basketball brand, so.
Yeah, it is a popular basketball brand. But you did grow up in Lincoln, and I don't know if Duke claims you as you claim them. But nonetheless, you're free to do what you will. That is going to wrap it up for us. This has been Ticket Weeknights. Nick Weinman, Harrison Arns. Don't go anywhere. Spare time coming up next. We got some Husker Bowlers coming your way right here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Meat Market, your family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through December